So I read an article about someone who received a letter, like a physical letter, direct mail from someone who was claiming to be Caitlin, their neighbour. So what they realised after not very long was that this was actually a bit of marketing. It was from a company called Nextdoor, and I think it's like a local social media kind of platform. But basically the person who got the letter felt that this was a bit of an invasion of privacy. It felt like it was not okay for this company to send them stuff like this posing as their neighbour. Now, I'm not sure whether or not one of their neighbours did actually organise for this to happen, but the person who put this together, who was referred to in the article, definitely didn't feel like they had been treated fairly. Like, they didn't feel like they should have been able to receive this kind of marketing material posing as a letter from one of their neighbours. Now, I guess direct mail is something that has been around for a long time, obviously, and it's probably coming full circle again in a lot of ways, especially with the rise of online marketing and emails, sales funnels, landing pages, that kind of thing. It's very easy to miss your message in like the sea of content that is out there at the moment, and people are turning back to direct mail sometimes. But I don't know if it's a good thing that people are using direct mail in such a way. Like it was the posing as someone that they weren't, or like misrepresenting themselves, that this person thought was not a good look. Yeah, I mean, like if I received something in the mail from someone claiming to be my neighbour, and it was pretty obvious that it wasn't actually from a neighbour, and it was in fact just a bit of marketing material. Like, what an ineffective bit of marketing. Like, in what universe am I going to go, hey, this is a nice bit of junk mail. You know what? I will actually sign up for this, whatever it was, like a local area social media platform. Like, who gives a shit? Like, that just, it's like the kind of direct mail that, tries to smuggle itself in under the guise of to the homeowner, like very important, like information. It's just like, can you buy some raffle tickets or something? It's so cheesy. Like, I think there are much better ways of doing direct marketing like that and direct mail. Like, part of the problem is that until recently, like, managing that kind of data, like, say if you had a database of 500,000 names and you're going to do a direct mail campaign out to 500,000 people based on their location. Until quite recently, in order for that to be even slightly effective, you would have had to have sent out a personalised, like, not just personalised like Dear John or Dear Sue, personalised in so as the fact that you actually know who they are as a person, which you can do now with AI, like with ChatGPT. Like, you could literally get access to a database, of 500,000 people with their address, and it might take a little while and probably cost you a bit in API credits, but it would be possible to scrape that information. Like, say if they have their name, their address available, you could probably, using a bit of machine learning as well, have a really good crack at figuring out who they are, where they work, and coming up with like a bit of a pitch design specifically for them. Now, I'm not fucking suggesting this at all. Like, that's creepy as fuck. But it's possible. It's definitely something that you could do. Like, and no one, back before we could sort of manipulate and sort of generate data on scale like that, no one was going to go through 500,000 rows of data and send out a direct mail piece to every single one of those people, because that's a shitload of people, and you're not going to customize that, are you? Like, you're not going to do anything more than just like dear first name if you're lucky. But like, you now have the ability to say, if you want to look up, cross-reference their name, possibly even their phone number or email address if you can get it. Like, it's probably hard to get that kind of thing these days against their address, but you could have a pretty good go at looking up someone's name, their address against Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever other social media you can find, get it to cross-reference those together, and when you've got like some pretty decent matches, like, you wouldn't necessarily get absolutely everyone right for sure, but you'd be able to get some pretty good matches out of a group of 500,000, say, or whatever the sample size is that you're using, you'd be able to get quite a sizable amount of people where you've actually figured out who they are just by their online information. And then you could use that information to craft a very specific pitch to them. And I think that it's kind of scary. Like, it's not something that I am suggesting at all. Like, it's effective, probably. Like, I'd be interested to work out what that would actually look like for like a cost basis. I wonder how much it would cost to put that together. But yeah, is that ethical? Like, that information is freely available. I guess that's a really a new kind of paradigm here. Like, that information is available. We have the computing power available to actually run the data on that and figure out what a good pitch for a sample size that large is, and then send them some direct mail, because like, no one checks their emails. Like, email is not going to be anywhere near as effective, I wouldn't think, in this, because it just goes straight to junk. But like, people actually, if they get something in the mail, it's exciting. Although, you do get, like, I've registered domains, like a .com domain, and would get something. I'm not actually sure how they do this, but I'd get something from like a web development company saying, "Congratulations on your domain. Like, would you like us to help you set up a website?" I'm like, how the fuck did you get my information? Like, how did you know? I'm sure they could just sort of check, like, who is, like, they get some kind of alert whenever someone purchases a domain and doesn't put the proper privacy in place, I guess. But even that, I was a bit like, oh, like, I don't know if I like that. But like, for the unscrupulous marketers out there who are, you know, they don't mind scaring the shit out of people, you could do it. But like, would it work though? Like, would you be able to, like, if you're getting a phone call from a cold caller who's done their research and they know exactly who you are, what you're about. Hey buddy. Sorry, my dog's just running past me. They know who you are, they know what your business is about. I guess that's the difference here. We're talking B2C. Doing that kind of thing B2C is possible, but is it effective? Because it would scare the shit out of people. And you'd get complaints and all kinds of things. So I guess if you were to utilize that approach for B2B, you wouldn't have to go and stalk all their socials. You could if you wanted to, but if they've already got their information out there publicly, then that would be a way of doing it. Like, you can do that now with, like, already you can just put in a spreadsheet of all the prospects, and it will, you know, you can use AI to help you craft a pitch for all of them and send it off. No one reads it though. Like, it's very hard to actually get people to even open your cold emails, but if you're sending them direct mail like that, you might just get a better response. Interesting. I guess it's similar kind of way to cold calling. Like, you can now, and this is all pretty new technology, but you can now actually get a like chat GPT or GPT based voice call. Like, you know how with the app you can download the chat GPT app and it has like the voice chat option. You can get that same kind of mechanism to cold call people, or to call warm leads. Like, if someone registers on your website, you can get this thing to call them, and you can, you know, train it with all your information, and you can, you know, as long as you're up front and say, hey, this, like a robot is about to call you, you can sell. You can, like, nurture your prospect, you can sell to them, you can qualify them without actually having to do it yourself. Like, you can just get the robot to do it. I'm just wondering if you could do that with cold calling, like en masse, and actually say, hey, like, we know that you are this person and you run this business, and, you know, we want to talk to you about this because we've identified, you know, however, you know, that's a pretty shitty script, but, you know, however you want to put it, that could be a very cost-effective way of calling people. And, you know, you're not paying someone to actually do the cold calls, you're not doing them yourself. No one likes doing cold calls, and people, I reckon we're not that far away from reaching a point where it's almost impossible to tell that you're speaking to like an AI generated voice. Like, if you're creating AI generated voices from scripts, like the voice that I use for the intro and the outro of my podcast is AI generated, but it sounds pretty human. And it's really just the response times that are getting much faster that is really sort of letting the team down in that respect. So once we get to the point where the response times are so human-like that you can't even tell, it's going to absolutely transform that industry. It's going to have like a resurgence. Like, people are going to move to using that kind of thing again, like using that kind of technology, like relying on the human desire for connection and almost kind of exploiting it and saying, hey, this feels like a human connection, but it's not. And it's much cheaper for us to quote unquote connect with you this way. And you probably are a bit more receptive to this. Maybe. Who knows? I guess we'll see. It's very interesting though. Like it'll be very interesting to see how this kind of thing all pans out in the future, in the next few years. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.